Hello everyone, Anna Marie with Just Stamp here. Today I am going to be sharing with you how to create this post-it note easel back holder. I am featuring the Penguin Place bundle, which is in the holiday catalog for 2021. And it features the stamp set and the coordinating punch. And I'm also using the Penguin Playmates Designer Series paper, which you can get for free when you place a $50 order during celebration period through September 30th. So let me share with you how to make the project. To begin, we are going to need one piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 11. We'll need a second piece of cardstock, same color, that measures 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. Now I'm using fresh freesia, but you could choose any color cardstock and any theme as well. So let's get started. I am going to start by scoring these two pieces, getting ready to create the card base. I am going to be using a stamping trimmer. I'm going to start with the larger piece, which measures, of course, 4 1/4 by 11. I'm going to be scoring, so I'm going to be sure to have my scoring blade in position. And I'm going to be scoring in 1/2 inch on both sides of the short side. So I'm going to bring it into 1/2 inch, score down, and I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees and score at the 1/2 inch mark again. Okay, I am going to rotate it now just 90 degrees. I'm going to bring it over to 1 1/2 and score. Push it over to 2 inches and score. 5 1/2, which is the midway point on the 11 inch cardstock. 9 inches. 9 1/2, and I know I'm off camera at this point, and 10. All right, now I'm going to push it back to 3 1/2, and I'm going to create a small score line only up to the score line. So I'm going to be at 3 1/2, and I'm going to score only up to the score line here, and on the opposite end of the paper as well, below the 1/2 inch score line. So 2 tiny scores at both ends of the paper. So I've finished scoring this piece of paper. I'm going to bring in the smaller one, which measures 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. And this one I'm going to score on 3 sides at 1/4 of an inch. So there's one down the short side, then the long side. What we're doing is creating a pocket for the back of the easel. It can hold either a note, a gift card, or a sweet treat. And I am done with the scoring, so I'm going to push this trimmer out of the way. Next, we are going to come back in and we're going to burnish on all score lines. So I'm going to bring in a bone folder and turn over and fold up and burnish on all score lines. So just 3 sides on the smaller piece. I'm going to bring in the larger piece, and again I'm going to burnish on all score lines. So we're just getting the project into shape. We're on the score lines. So then I'm going to open those up and I'm going to flip it in half at the 5 1/2 inch score line. And here I'm going to rotate it. This is the side that has those 1/2 inch score lines at the 3 1/2 inch mark. This is actually the front of the easel, and it has a pocket that's going to hold the post-it notes. So I'm going to fold up. This is going to create the pocket. And I have another score line just 1/2 inch higher, and I'm going to fold that as well. That's going to be the pocket. I'm going to flip it over, and down at the base there is a accordion fold setup. So I'm gonna fold up and down. And this is creating the base, the accordion fold base that's gonna make that easel stand up. All right, so I've got all of these scores burnished and folded. So next I'm ready to trim. I'm gonna bring in some paper snips, and I am going to be trimming up to the 1/2 inch score line at the first score. These create small tabs. It's going to help create the pocket. I'm going to come in at this next score line that only goes up to the horizontal score. And I'm going to create darts to kind of debulk it. So when I fold over, it will be a smoother fold. And I'm going to get those smaller pieces out of the way. Just kind of pull at them. And I'm also going to create darts over at these other snips. So right through here. And just 2 more. And again. All right, I'm going to rotate it and do the same at the opposite side. So at each tab and at that small score line, and I'm going to create the darts. And also up here, I'm going to create some darts. Looks like I did do it at the opposite side as well. Okay, so I'm going to pull these small slivers out of the way. Over at the opposite side where I have that accordion fold, I'm going to start off by snipping at the final score line here. And I'm going to create an angle cut, and I'm going to eliminate that rectangular piece altogether. I'm just going to cut on the 1/2 inch score line all the way up to that final horizontal score. There we go. And do the same on the opposite side. And just eliminate that altogether. Okay, so I've finished cutting on this piece. I'm going to come in with the smaller piece and do the same, and I'm going to create some angle cuts here at the base. This is going to create the pocket at the back of the easel, and I'm just eliminating that corner, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to create the pocket. So I'm going to flip that closed. I'm going to bring in some multi-purpose Tombow liquid glue. It's a little bit aggressive. And I'm going to go ahead and close this to create the fold. And I want to eliminate that little bit of glue that's oozing out from the fold. There we go. And I'm going to let that set. I'm going to bring it to the side. I'm going to put some weight on it to hold it down. Now let's go ahead and add our adhesive to the easel itself. So we are going to start off by folding these seams up. So this is the front side. You can see there's a mountain fold. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to apply some liquid glue on these on the upper tab and the lower tab. This is going to create a nice clean seam. And I'm just going to fold those up and hold down so it secures. All right. And next I'm going to bring in some tear and tape, another aggressive adhesive that's really easy to work with. And let's see. I am going to add some tear and tape to these small tabs. These are going to create the pocket. So I'm going to put some adhesive on these 2 small tabs. I only need about 1/4 inch on each tab. That's going to be folded up to secure the pocket. Right through here. Okay, so here's how it's looking, so it makes sense to you. I'm going to fold it in half. This is the top of the easel. here is the front pocket that's going to hold the Post-it notes. This comes up. The back tab will fold forward to create the pocket. And then finally the front side of the pocket will be folded up. So I need some adhesive right here on the inside of the tabs of the front pocket. So again, I'm going to be using tear and tape. Right at the edge of the tab. And I'm going to put it on both sides. And let's see if I can do a bit of cleaner cut with my paper snips. All right. And then finally, this is going to go up. I need to put some adhesive. We're going to secure the tab at the back side. So I need some tear and tape coming down this end of the accordion fold. Just like so. All right. I'm ready to adhere. So we're going to start off again with the front pocket. I'm going to reveal the sticky on the two tabs. These get folded up. I'm going to bring the back of the pocket up, bring the tab forward, and secure that. So that's folding forward. And then I'm going to pull the front tabs back and create the pocket. So this just comes up and the tab gets folded back, just like so. And flip side. There we go. So there's my pocket for my Post-it notes. Now I just need to go ahead and stick the accordion. So that's going to be folded. Let's see. I think I need to rework that up. Let's make sure this is folded correctly. Up and then down and then back up. And it looks like I need to get a cleaner cut on that. I'm going to bring it in and just snip a tiny bit off here. There we go. Now this is going to be folded, and I'm going to go ahead and reveal. And I'm going to bring the front back and into position here. And there's our easel back. Yay, all we have to do is decorate now. So I have some designer series paper that coordinates with the Penguin Place bundle. It's called Penguin Playmates. It's available free during celebration through September 30th. I have some small pieces. There are two papers that measure 3 inches by 3 inches. These have snowflake patterns and they're the same color as the easel base. I'm going to go ahead and secure those on, putting flat adhesive and putting it inside. I'm going to have about 1/8 of an inch border at the top and two sides. And the second, I'm going to go ahead and burnish that down with my bone folder. The second 3-inch piece goes to the back, and again, flat adhesive. And I'm going to put this at the top of the easel, about 1/8 of an inch border at the top and two sides. You're going to see it's a little tiny bit short at the base, which is fine. Our pocket is going to be covering that. So I'm going to bring back in that pocket that we created earlier. And before I adhere it to the back side, I'm going to adhere a little bit of pattern paper. This measures 3 inches by 1 1/4. And I'm going to use some flat adhesive here. And center that right on the pocket. So we're going to have about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Whoops. Let me put that back in position. So what's nice about the liquid glue, it is very forgiving. You can always adjust it. All right, now I'm going to apply liquid glue on the pocket itself, right on the seam. It's a little bit too much glue there. and on the base and this side. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in position on the back of the easel, align it to the base and the two sides, and just press firmly so it adheres. There we go. We have our back side completed. I'm going to flip it over to the front. We have our little pocket to decorate, and again I have a piece of designer series paper which measures 3 inches by 1 1/4. I'm going to use flat adhesive on it. Flip that over and secure that down. All right. And now I'm ready to decorate. I'm going to start off by adding 2 images from the designer series paper. I have a penguin. Oops, let me fix that paper. See if I can pull it down. There we go. I have a penguin and I have a fox, and I'm going to arrange it on a label. I'm punching from the Label Me Lovely punch, and this is basic white. I'm just going to do a quick punch. I'm going to adhere the penguin flat to the label. So just did a little bit of liquid glue. And I'm going to add the fox with a dimensional. Let's bring in standard dimensionals, and I'll add a couple here. I'm going to go ahead and place that right like so. This little label goes onto the front pocket, and I'm going to align the left of the label to the left of the designer series paper, but I'm going to be careful not to put any adhesive at the top of the label because that will be exposed at the back, and I don't want it sticking onto the Post-its that go inside the pocket. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this to the left. And I'm going to add a small greeting in basic white. I'm going to stamp from the stamp set. There is a cute little sentiment that says, "Be cool, be chill, be merry." I'm going to stamp that onto Whisper White or basic white, and it's going to be a very thin label. I'm going to go ahead and trim that up to about 1/4 inch. Let's see, with the paper trimmer here. And this time I am cutting, so I need the cutting blade. And it's going to go up to about 1/4 inch or a tiny bit more. I just want to make sure my lettering clears. All right, this gets adhered. First I'm going to snip it at an angle on both sides. And I'm going to adhere this to the front using mini dimensionals. I want it well supported, so I'm going to put about 3, 1 at each end and 1 in the middle. And let's see if I can go ahead and stick that right onto the easel front, right under the little box, like so. All right, and one final thing we want to do, I'm going to take a 3 by 3 inch piece of basic white, and I'm going to do a little bit of decorating on it from the stamp set. Once again, I'm going to bring in a stamp of the small tree. It's a little alpine tree, and I'm stamping in Just Jade. And I'm going to do a 2-step stamp, so 1st generation, 2nd generation. I'm going to add a few snowflakes using fresh freesia. And this gives me a place to write a message. And it's going to be inserted right at the back of the easel, right in that pocket. I could also include a gift card or some kind of a flat treat like a Ghirardelli square, write a note, and then of course on the front is the pocket for the Post-its, just like so. And there you go, a very useful Easel fold Post-it note holder created with Penguin Pals and Penguin Playmates from Just Stamp. If you have any questions, please post them right below. I will be posting the measurements so you can follow along and create with me.